Hello, welcome everybody. I am so glad to see you here today. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure that you put hashtag replay. Those of you that are here live, make sure you comment and interact with us so that we can get, back with you and communicate and connect, right? That's what we're doing today. So I want to say welcome. I want to say hello. I want to say I am happy to be here. I am with the beautiful Coach Marshawn, relationship expert, and we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about healthy relationships, y'all. We're going to talk about really what it looks like to go through the healing process and to be able to overcome toxic relationships and
Mm.
pull up into normalizing healthy. That's what we want to do. That's why we're here. We want to normalize healthy, successful, communicative, fulfilling, amazing, juicy, spicy, romantic relationships. That's what we all about, y'all. And one of the things I tell people is that your romance affects your finance. So be careful about the emotional roller coaster that you could possibly be on in your life, because that emotional roller coaster can affect your career, your health, and your overall ability to live a quality life. So I want to go ahead and jump right into this interview. And I just want to say, you guys are in for a treat today, okay? Because I'm the writing expert, I'm the journaling lady. But this lady that's up on the stage right now, she is the relationship person. And y'all know, if you Google the most popular topics right now in the world, it's relationships. If you Google the top 5 problems in the world, not just in the US, I'm talking about global. It's relationships, it's family breakdown, it's communication issues. It's all of these things that they don't teach us in school, y'all. They don't teach us in school. Guess what? Because the teachers don't know how to do it either. So I got I got this beautiful woman on the stage, and she's going to introduce herself in just a second. But I just hit the ground running. Let me stop and just introduce myself for a second. Welcome, y'all. My name is Latasha LT. My clients call me Coach LT. I am the founder, originator of the website, myfirstbook.org. And that is for people who want to get their first book done in 90 days or less with minimal stress, right? My specialty is memoirs, biographies, autobiographies, but literally, I'm an educator and I can help you pretty much write anything that you want to write. My first memoir was all about me, the lessons of my life, and I could not have written that memoir without my personal journals, because I had to have a record. I had to have a specific way to remember, because a lot of times you don't remember things that happened 20 years ago. So thank God I had journals, and that's one of the things that we're going to be doing July 24th, 25th, and 26th. We have a 3-day workshop coming up for y'all. The name of it is, y'all going to love this. You're going to love this. It's Healing Black Women's Relationships Through Journaling. And it's going to be a phenomenal 3-day experience. We're going to walk you through how to do this, because we talk about it. Everybody says, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Be positive. But they don't show you how. We're practical coaches. We're going to show you the how. Not just the what. We're going to show you the how. So without further ado, Coach Marshawn is on the stage. Boom.
Hey. Thank you so much, Coach LT, for having me on your platform to share this beautiful day with you. I really appreciate it. So, for those of you out there who don't know who I am Marshawn Olanio. I am the founder of Marshawn Olanio Consulting, which is where I specifically help Black women, yes, Black women, to shift their mindset, to shift their perspective, and shift the way that you are showing up in your relationships. Not just your romantic relationship, but the relationship, the most important relationship, which is the relationship that you have with you. You have to show up for you
Yes.
first before you can show up for anybody else. You have to know how to love you before you can love anybody else. So I help you to change and shift your perspective on all of those 3 areas so you can show up and develop and curate a beautiful, wonderful, blissful relationship and or marriage. So that's who I am. That's who I help.
Ooh.
So I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much again, Coach LT, for having me. Because this is a beautiful topic, and you already mentioned our event that is coming up July 24th. So I'm just going to shamelessly plug it again: Healing Black Women's Relationships Through Journaling, July 24th through the 26th. We do have a registration link, right? Are you able
Beautiful.
to put it
Yes.
here or in the comments? But
I'll put
either
it
way,
in the
we do have a
comments.
registration. Okay, I'll say it right here as well: bit.ly/come get healed. Only for Black women. It's in the title. And it's so if it's for you, you register. And then if you know that you have a friend who could benefit as well, register, have them register as well.
Ooh, it's going to be on fire, y'all. And I just realized, hold up, wait a minute. We are not live. Yeah, we are not live, but that's okay because I'm going to drop this anyway on my timeline. So everyone will be watching this on the replay. How about that?
Perfect.
All of y'all watching it on the replay. That's just how we roll. Okay, so I love to hear, I'm a history major by trade. I'm a history teacher. And so I love to kind of walk through the chronology of how we got here today, to give people some context, give us a little overview of how you got to where you are today. I mean, starting from when you were a little girl, like what were some of the things that you had envisioned for your life? And I know one of the things I talk about through the journaling is that it's a way to manifest. And so I know that you have probably manifested some incredible things in your life. And I want you just to kind of walk us through that. Like, where are you from? What were your aspirations when you were young? How did you get here today?
Okay, thank you. So I come from it was a two-parent home. However, it was a blended two-parent home, right? So two-parent home. I um I am a PK, which is a preacher's kid for those of you that do not know what PK is. So I am a PK. And as much as they had a beautiful relationship, and I say on the surface,
Yeah.
theirs was deeper, but what I saw was surface. So I come from a family of relationships. The problem is no one ever taught me how to choose, how to be in a relationship, how to love myself, why that is so important before getting to a relationship. So all of the tools, the strategies, the information that I felt they had was never imparted to me. So with that being said, when I was growing up, it put me into a fantasy world because my what I thought that everybody did was a relationship, was a marriage, stability. And when I got onto the world,
Yes.
I got a wake up call, and I did not understand when I would speak to a man, or we would have conversations and we were dating. I didn't know that that wasn't a relationship. It was where I had to really come to grips with: you're just talking to this person, you're just dating this person, you don't have a title. So I had to learn all of those things, but learning it by
Bumping
getting,
your head.
oh my God, getting cracked upside the head. So it was a tough time. And then I had low self-esteem as well. So as you can see, I have beautiful chocolate skin. When I was 17, 18, there's no way I could have said that to you, because
Oh.
that was one of my insecurities. I got teased a whole lot about my chocolate skin. So that was one of the things that held me back. So coupled with the fact I had low self-esteem because of the teasing, I had no confidence, right? On top of that, no relationship instructions, no marriage instructions other than don't have sex before marriage.
Yeah.
Don't bring kids home. And then the other talk was, I watched The Miracle of Life about how babies are created and then the actual birthing of the baby. So that helped me to not get pregnant. But that those three were the extent of my conversations. And so how I got here today, being a coach and helping specifically Black women, is because I went through a divorce. And if I can help 1, 10, 20, 1,000, 5,000 Black women not go through what I went through, then my purpose has been fulfilled here on this earth. Because when we don't have the information, when we don't have the tools, we go out there and just bump our heads.
Yeah.
And because we are learning to get away from survival and into thriving in our lives, it is now time
Yeah.
to thrive in every area of our life, including but not limited to our relationships. But again, the relationship with yourself is the most important. And then once you have you together, or you're on the journey of getting you together, then guess what? It translates or carries over into the person that you're going to attract, what you're willing to take and put up with, you setting boundaries,
Yeah.
like all of these things come into place, and you know your worth, what you're bringing to the table. So now that I have a handle on all of that stuff, I teach my sisters how to speak up for themselves, how to create those boundaries,
Wow.
right? And all of this by taking the actions, because I can't do the work for you. So by actions that we specifically talk about, the strategies that are going to help you to be heard, to be seen, in order to feel appreciated in your relationship, but also be able to give some of that as well. Um, we focus on getting you to that point. So not only are you loving on yourself and making yourself a priority, you're also bringing your partner into your world as well. So both of you can feel happy about the choice that you made with one another. So that is a short story, but that's pretty much how I got
Yeah.
who I am, based off of me bumping my head and not wanting anybody else to experience what I experienced.
I love it. Woo, you said so many things I want to unpack, but it would just take 50,000 days to unpack all of that. Let's just do two things, just two
Okay.
things, a little two juicy morsels. What, because you were a PK, so I want to go back to the PK situation. People assume that PKs are perfect because they have the perfect parent situation, marital situation. They got that Bible foundation, biblical start perspective.
Mhm.
How was it living as a PK? Was it stressful? Was it a lot to live up to? Or were you able to be yourself and make your own mistakes? Or how, I guess I'm asking basically, how did your parents parent you as
Mhm.
a PK?
For the most part, I was able to explore and be Marshawn for the most part. Where I didn't really have any control was how many times we were in the church house, in the church building.
Yes.
So I didn't really have any control over that. I was there, I was in the choir, or I was an usher. We were in the not the first pew, right? Because that's what the deacons usually are, but like the second
Oh,
and third pew where the first family is. We were there.
wow.
um, when you go to a visiting church, we were there. When they would visit our church, we were there. When we would give out food or whatever, like a drive, we participated in all of that. And so
Wow.
for me, it wasn't a bad experience, but it was a lot. It was always, we were always there. And so that was my world for a while. But as we became teenagers, my mom and parents pretty much gave us a choice. You can come or not. Like, but
Oh,
they were still
nice.
open. So they did give us more of a choice when we became teenagers. But just like you said, they wanted to lay the foundation so God is within us, right? So they train the child in the way the child should go. So when they get older, they will not depart from it. And I have to say that, yeah, it's seven of us. So I was thinking, all of my siblings, we all have the foundation of God. We have not departed. We, we when we were going through our like 20s and trying to figure out
Yeah.
us, we did our thing, but we've all come back to God centered church, that foundation. So yeah,
Ooh,
that's the pretty much, yeah,
seven.
yeah, seven. Yeah, God.
Seven. Where do you fall in there in the seven?
So I am number five. So I am the third one from the baby.
Okay. All, is it all girls, all boy, or all like a mix?
No, so it's a mixture. It's four girls and three boys.
Okay. Wow.
But then also, so that's just my mom's kids. My stepdad also brought along four that were
Oh.
older, and so they weren't in the home as long. But at one point, it was 11 children, the parents, and one grandchild.
Wow. That's incredible. And where did y'all grow up? What part of the country?
Ohio, Midwest.
Okay, wow. That is a lot of children.
It is, but it is what it is, and it was my life, and I actually really appreciated it because they made it work in the sense that I pretty much come from a um what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. Middle. I can't think of what I'm looking for. But I wasn't
Yeah.
poor. I
Middle
wasn't rich.
class.
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for. We were high middle class actually. So
Nice.
they had a house that fit all of us.
Wow.
Yeah, I came from a pretty stable background.
That's beautiful. I love it. Okay, let's talk about the dating phase. Because you said
Uh-oh.
I had to learn the difference between relationship and dating. I had to understand that even though I'm talking to this person, that's not a relationship. Tell us about that. Like, how long was your dating phase? How did you navigate the dating phase? Like, was it just a few years or was it just like one or two dates? What does that look like?
Okay, so pre-marriage, it was pretty much null and void dating.
Okay.
Um, that was a no for the PK, and that also crippled me because the first real boyfriend that I got was my now ex-husband.
Oh.
So the first real boyfriend that I was able to have is when I had left the home. We dated from 18 to 21, my age. He's a little bit older. We got married at 21, and then we got divorced at 20 when I was 27. So my dating life out in the world, actually going out on dates and experiencing, was with one man. Now there was some in between, but that was not real dating. It was sneaking around.
Yeah,
While I
yeah.
was in school, because I'm gonna have me a boyfriend, but it really wasn't that because I couldn't. I had to be home, and so my real first boyfriend became my um, ex-husband.
Wow.
Just you know what? It was just a lot of things that I had no idea was important to ask, like the questions. I really hone in on asking the questions, watching the behavior, not ignoring the red flag. Even with that, red flags, I didn't even know that was a thing. So when it exhibits some stuff, I didn't necessarily ignore it. I did question it, but I didn't understand how I needed to reflect on how this is going to play out in our relationship together long term. So because he hid that he smoked cigarettes, and sometimes he smoked cigar weed. Now that was a thing that
Okay.
was not my thing.
Cigar
Somebody else,
weed.
yeah,
Cigar
not my
weed.
thing. So where I failed is that instead of me watching him, I pretty much told him all the stuff that I didn't want. And guess what? He became the man that I wanted him to become.
Oh.
Here we are. Divorce.
Yeah.
So that's pre. Now after divorce, it was a whole new ball game because I literally had oh my God, no experience in the dating world, because once I'm with a person, I'm with him. So there's that
Yeah.
7, 8 years we're together, or 9, whatever. It was just under a decade. Him and I were together. So I went from my parents' home to me being a wife in that home. And then now I'm in the real dating world. And that was a freaking roller coaster.
That's another culture shock, right? That's another
Yeah.
shock. Like, whoa, what is this?
Yes. Shock. I don't know if there's another word deeper than shock. It was that. it was kind of traumatic. It was because, again, having the conversation. Okay, now I understood that just having a conversation, we're not boyfriend girlfriend. Even if I decided to lay with them, we're not girlfriend and boyfriend. It was still a lot of still figuring that out, because truth be told, I laid with my ex-husband pretty soon and he became my husband. So again, there's that fantasy, believing that if everything plays out that way. And I didn't know to ask questions. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't have anybody to talk to because my parents literally just didn't talk about relationships. And so I never felt like I could go into and talk to them about it because it was never something that we discussed in our home. So I just had to figure everything out. And I went through a lot of dating. I went through a lot of giving away my body, i.e., having sex, because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be loved. I wanted somebody to
Yep.
choose me. And I felt like a lot of women feel we have to give away our body in order to be accepted and loved. Now, as a grown a woman, I know that I don't have to do that. But when I was a
Yeah.
child in my 20s and trying to figure all this stuff out and just the world, I'm living on my own. I'm doing all of these new for me. So at the age of 27 is when I really started dating. And I had about 14, 15 years of roller coaster. And then I
Ooh.
stopped because I was like, this is too much. One day it came to me, Marshawn, you are the only common denominator here
Oh.
on why your relationships, your dating, your situationships are not going to the next level. There's some
Mm.
information that you don't have. There's something that you are doing wrong. And so I had to jump out of the dating game. And I did that for about 2 years to work on me, focusing on me because, coach, this was the first time that I really was able to sit and reflect and understand who Marshawn is. As a woman, I was a grown a woman at that time. So as a woman, who are you? What do you want in this world? Why do you want to be in a relationship? How come you can't sit in a room by yourself? How come you can't listen to the thoughts that are coming up? Why do you always have to be around people? Why do you always have to be busy doing stuff? Now that is what I
Oh.
help my clients to figure out because I had to go through the process and I see all that running, busy doing something, busy being around somebody and not able to sit with your own self and your own thoughts. That's scary for a lot of people. I didn't realize it was scary for a lot of people. I just needed to understand what the heck was happening and why, because I feel like I'm a good person. Why couldn't I get into a relationship? How come the situationships weren't going to the next level? How come they weren't asking me to be their girlfriend? Like, what was happening? I had to sit with that.
Oh, we're gonna drop the mic right there. Ooh, that's juicy, but y'all got to come back for the rest of this because this is going to be an ongoing conversation. So, for just a quick recap: 0 to no dating.
No.
0 to 18, 19, and then 19 to 26 boyfriend, and then marriage. Real quick.
Right. So it's like 2 years, something like that, 2-3 years, but then marriage. Yes.
Wow, and then 26, 27, all the way up to where is
It
the
was
roller coaster?
27 plus 14. So what was that, 34? Somewhere around there, 32, somewhere around.
Wow, 0. Wow. Okay. So there's a lot of there's a lot of puzzle pieces we're gonna be filling in over the next couple of weeks, but y'all gotta stay tuned because this just gets juicier and juicier. Like just PK, that's a whole episode by itself. Y'all gonna have to come back. Now, I want to shift over to what you do now because you just gave me the perfect segue. Because you're right. We need to sit down as women, particularly Black women, and think about, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. Let me put some truth in it. And there comes a point where we do have to say, what's going on? What's missing? What do I need to know about me? What's going on with me? Right. And so for me, that process took place inside of my journal very early. I started reflecting on my life at like 12 years old and just writing down. And it just came naturally to me. I don't know where it came from, but it was reinforced by my teachers. I always got really high accolades for my writing because I was just naturally gifted, but it was also developing the writing muscle, and it was also very reflective. Every year, one of my teachers would be like, okay, let's reflect on the year. What went well, what didn't go well, what do you want to do for next time? And always a reflection. And so, but like you said, a lot of people do not want to do that reflection. They do not want to be honest and open up the box and see what's inside because it's not pretty. It's not pretty when you have to face your own stuff. I'm not going to say demons, but I'm going to say dark side, flip side, shadow side. We all have it. Like, we get up and put on our makeup and look real pretty, but we have to deal with what's in here. Yeah. I want to talk about the beautiful chocolate skin. I want to talk about that.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Because us women, we go through a lot being colored women. How did beautiful chocolate skin impact your dating?
It impacted my dating. It was all me. It was all in my mind. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is whenever something didn't work out, because I didn't deal with that critical inner voice would be right here. It's because you're so black. It's because they seen how dark you are. It's because anything that has to do with me being dark, you're not light enough. They like the light-skinned women better than you. They only want to use you for sex. Like all of that crap was here. And so because I thought this, I was told it, I received it as it was my own, and then I started walking around with all this stuff. So anytime he didn't call back, anytime he didn't text, anytime he didn't, create a date, it was always because you too black. He decided that he didn't want you because you're not light enough. They only want light-skinned girls. They don't want you.
Oh, wow. Now, see, that's powerful because I grew up in California, Southern California. And that same narrative that you playing in the back of your mind was also in the back of my mind. And you see, we're different shades. But I had the same type of record player right here. Because in California, when it was time to date, a lot of the black guys in California, they went for the other colors because there were so many other colors, blonde, whatever. They had all kinds of flavors of the rainbow to choose from. So me, I was always like, well, they're not going to choose me. That caused me to make the decision to go to a historically black college, which was the best 4 years of my life because I had all the chocolate men asking for me, and it wasn't, the chocolate piece was not a factor because we were all chocolate.
Right.
But I love to ask that question. So did you ever get a chance to date anyone that was outside of your race?
Just one. He was a Puerto Rican, but again, it was during my sneaking dating, so it was pre-marriage. So it was more of talking on the phone, and we would sneak over on one of my girlfriend's house, whose parents weren't home all the time, and we would all be over there, and it was kind of a double date, if you will. But that was it. So the innocent puppy love, because we never did have sex, so it was the innocent time. But other than him, everybody has been black.
So you say you was sneak dating.
Sneak dating, yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm coming over. Is she coming over? Because she was dating the cousin, right? They were first cousins and we were friends. I was like, if they're coming over today, okay, I'll be over there at such and such time. So I was sneak dating, yes.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Woo! Our time is almost done, y'all. I'm gonna ask the $1 million question right now.
Let's see.
Because I know y'all wondering this. How do women know when they need help in this area? What are some of the problems that you're able to help people solve? What is their condition when they meet you? And when they walk away from your coaching, how are they different?
Okay, let me see if I remember all the questions.
Yeah, so basically it's like A to Z. It's like point A to point B? Like, how are they when they meet you
Okay.
versus how are they when they leave you?
So for the women that I help, I'll say very high 95, 98% of them have some type of low self esteem, low confidence. They have issues with boundaries, setting and enforcing them. They have issues with being a people pleaser. They are very analytical and they stay here versus taking the action, right? So
Okay.
that's how they begin. It's a lot of uncertainty, anxiety. They maybe even have the feeling that the relationship is about to end and they have no idea where to
Oh,
start to begin to heal or to change things around. So, this is where I come in. I help them with their self esteem, the confidence, like all of the things that I just listed. I help them with all of that stuff. It doesn't happen all in one session. It doesn't happen all in one night. It is over a period of time. So the period of time, the minimum time that I work with somebody is 90 days. It's,
okay.
3 months. The optimal time to work with somebody is the up to a year. Up to a year
Okay.
for you to really unpack a lot of that stuff. So you can feel like, okay, I've been practicing, i.e., taking action on creating and establishing boundaries and enforcing them. I
Mm,
have been practicing speaking up and ask for what I want in a way that is loving, but also this is what I need in order to feel happy, loved, appreciated here. This is what I need. Because a lot of times we put our children, we put our spouse in front of us, and a lot of times we're not, excuse me, we're not even on our own list any longer. So I help them to make sure that they are still on their list, a priority if they can,
mm,
but on their list at the very least. So we go
wow.
through a whole slew of actions. Me listening to what they're saying, unpacking some of the things. We even go back, and now I'm not a therapist or anything, but sometimes we go back to figure out why they are doing certain things. Sometimes they've worked with a therapist and the therapist has not been able to help them pinpoint where this thing is coming from. Most times I can, but again, I am not a licensed therapist at all. But because I have read so much, experienced so much, I can, one of my powers, if you will, one of my gifts is being able to hear what you're not saying, right? I can hear what you are not saying, and then I can pinpoint. Like I was in short story, but I was talking to one of my clients, and she was telling me a story about how the mom and dad, the mom would be there, her mother, the stepdad would be there, and she felt like um, the stepdad would always like say different stuff to her, but she would, and during the course of the conversation, she never told me how her mother stood up for her or interjected or anything like that. And so after she finished talking, I said, has your mom always, and I know we shouldn't use always, right? But has your mom always not protected you? And she was like,
Oh,
um, nobody's ever asked me that. And like, it was starting to get very emotional. So I can hear what you're not
wow.
saying. And she was able to, um, thank me actually afterwards for pointing that out because she hadn't really thought about it in that way, but she's told that story several times. So I can hear what you're not saying, and I'm able to help you kind of work through it. Again, I'm not licensed. She does work with the therapist, so she can go and speak to that therapist, and he can help her pull it out even more. But the point I'm saying is, in the beginning, you are a certain way, which is you're pretty much an empty shell for the most part when it comes to you being in a romantic relationship. You're a shell because you didn't get the right tools and strategies. You're trying to figure it out all on your own. By the time we talk, you start to do some work. You're feeling better. You're getting stronger. You're becoming more confident. The self-esteem is rising. Like all of these things are aligning up for you. You feel better about yourself. By the time you decide to part ways with me, because you don't need my
Yeah.
coaching weekly. You might need maintenance, but you don't need the weekly coaching anymore. By the time you leave me, you already have the blueprint. You have been actively taking the actions to create the life that you want. You feel better about yourself. And to be quite frank and honest, sometimes some of the women end up leaving their relationship because they can really see this person is not their forever person. But it took them getting themselves together first before making that decision over here. Because even if you try to make that decision right now, the you that you are today is the you you're going to take into the next relationship, and you're going to attract the same type of person, the same type of man. So I need to get you together before you even think about walking away. Or you can walk away, but you still don't need to be dating anybody. You still got to do the work on you and figure out all of your why. So when you get over here, it can stay connected and together instead of distance, divorce, apart, anything like that. So unhealthy to healthy.
Ooh, you just broke it all the way down. That was the game changer right there. Ooh. So by this time, y'all, you have self-identified. You know, you know if Coach M is your coach. You know it because you just heard it. People pleaser, all up in your head, overthinker. You're not even on your list. I like how you said that. You're not even on your list. Wow. Let's get you on your list.
Yeah.
And then let's bump you up to priority.
Yes.
Wow. So if y'all know anybody that needs this type of coaching, you need to get a hold of Coach Marshawn right away. If you know it's you, raise your hand and say it's you. If you know that it's somebody in your family, somebody at work, somebody at church, right? You got a PK up in here who's qualified to help you on your journey. You got to do the work. She says she's not a licensed therapist, but she's a coach who has been qualified and ordained by life. And if you're ready, it's time. It's time, y'all. You got to stop playing.
Real quick, can I say this?
Yeah, please say it.
It's more than time. Here's the thing. We have been going to get all of this education in every other area of our lives, and we keep slacking on our relationships.
Ooh.
Before you got that degree, you had no idea all the things that you needed to learn, right? So you went and got what you needed. For your certification, you went and got what you needed. For writing your book, you got what you needed. So I need for you to get what you need when it comes to your romantic relationship, because what we're doing is not breaking the generational curses. You are your answer. I can help pull it out of you, but you are your answer. But you have to be willing to get the information from somebody who is qualified to give it to you. I am not a theories coach. Very practical experience is what I help you through. Again, I can hear you. I feel you. I understand your pain, which is especially why I only coach Black women, because we have some very unique challenges that we go through. And I want to help you to get from where you are today to where you need to be tomorrow. So we literally can start breaking these generational curses. So your child, your children, your son, your daughter don't have to experience all of the pain that we had to experience, because we are one of the first generations that's starting to figure out relationships, because we're less in survival mode. We're more in thriving in our life. And a lot of times we're thriving more in other areas, career, house, and we're lacking in our relationships still.
Wow. That's deep, y'all. She laid it all out for you. She said, look, all your other areas of your life are good. You look good. Your lipstick look good. Your hair look good. The cosmetic industry is booming because we look good. The hair industry is booming. We got the nails and everything. But let's talk about what's happening on the inside. Wow. All right. Two last questions, and then we out. This has been juicy,
Okay.
but y'all got to stay tuned. Y'all can't just think that we're going to cover everything today. We're not. We're going to unfold and unravel this story as we get closer and closer to our workshop that's coming up. And then thereafter, we got a lot of work to do, y'all. It's a lot of relationships out here that need help. So we're going to be doing this for a while. Okay, we're going to be doing this is important work. Okay, your mission talks about the divorce rate. Tell us about your mission. I love this mission.
So my mission is to decrease the divorce rate while simultaneously increasing the marriage rate, specifically amongst our community. Now, why is that important? It's important because the national divorce rate is 50%. So 50% of the people that you know, and probably more, have been married and divorced, right? However, in the Black community, the stats are even higher. I think it's at 56. It's either 56 or 58, but I'm pretty sure it's 56%. The point of that is, so for all of our relatives, including but not limited to yourself,
yeah,
you get married, you have an even higher chance of getting a divorce. But all of that is because of the lack of knowledge, the lack of being vulnerable, the lack of understanding and stopping to blame the other person, the lack of taking responsibility, right? And again, coming away from survival mode because of our background and all of the disadvantages that we had to plug through in order to still be here on this thing we call Earth. And
wow.
we keep doing better and better, but we still got some work. So because we still have some work, now we have to, as I just mentioned, go and get the information that we know that works and apply it. Because we know we hear all the time that knowledge is power, but that's actually half truth. It is applied knowledge that is the power. It is the taking action on the knowledge that you have in order to do and create the life that you want to live.
I love it. Another mic drop, gems. I love it. So how can the people who are watching, how can they get access to your materials? Because I know you have so many resources for people. Tell us about your books.
Yes. So my books. I have a plethora of books. So all of my books are relationship related. And a lot of them are journals. So you can, as we're talking about the journaling workshop that's coming up July 24th, shameless plug again. So a lot of them are journals. I do have a long form copy, which is actually the one that's sitting behind me right here. Is Reignite Your Relationship by 7X. But all of them are to help you to become more aware of who you are, more aware of the person that you are trying to create a life with, as well as rekindling the spark that may have been lost in your relationship by just tweaking a few areas in your life. So all of my books are on Amazon. However, you can go to my website at www.marshawn.o, so the spelling of my name, o.com. And I have a section on there where it's my books. I have a section on there where there's my services. I have a section on there where you can schedule a coaching conversation with me. I have articles on there. That's my house, right? So if you want to take a deep dive into me, then you can go to my website. Again, it's www.marshawn.o.com. And then I had to restart my YouTube channel. So I don't have as many subscribers as I once did. Google decided to take away my 6,000. And so now I'm back down to 73. But I'm starting to grow my YouTube channel again. So you can find me at youtube.com/Marshawn Olanio. I'm on IG, Marshawn_O. You can find me on pretty much all the platforms.
Yay. Y'all, you heard it. Help is here. The resources are here. Coaching is here. You guys got a workshop coming up at the end of this month, July 24th, 25th, and 26th. We're offering a VIP day. If you would love to just spend a whole day with us, just deep diving into your situation, we can help you with that. Make sure I'm going to put underneath this video the link so that you can get registered for this workshop. It's a 3-day workshop. It's free. Free 99. The VIP day is only $97. Can you imagine y'all spending several hours with the both of us? Like, it's just going to be jam packed. You're going to be doing a lot of writing and digging, and you're going to be doing some deep diving into your own personal issues. You're going to be writing about it. You're going to be talking about it. Marshawn's going to be leading you through discussions to help you unpack. You just heard her say she can hear the stuff that you don't say. So that means come in ready. Come in ready. You want to do some healing. Yeah. And it's going to be uncomfortable, but guess what? Everything you ever wanted in your whole life is on the other side of your comfort zone.
Bam. Everything.
Woo! It's been real. It's been beautiful. It's been amazing, Coach Marshawn. That's all the questions I got today. You answered everything so well. I mean, I'm curious. I want to know more about the PK experience. So I'm gonna be digging on your website, looking through your materials, just because, it's just something that not a lot of people really talk about.
Yeah.
And so there's so many assumptions and myths and just things that go around, and, we got to get that information. We got to be educated. And so thank you for providing the service that you provide and having all those resources available for people to have access to. It's important.
You're welcome. And thank you so much for having me today. This has been a wonderful experience, and I've enjoyed myself. I've enjoyed the questions, and I'm hoping that your audience has enjoyed what I have to impart here today, but then also can hear themselves in my story, so they don't have to keep experiencing the same thing over and over again, or attracting the same person over and over again, because it makes a difference. So thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it.
All right, until next time, y'all. Bye.